Okay, today's tip, we're going to go through the spring cleaning pricing calculator that's included in the spring cleaning pricing selling and training kit, and show you exactly how it works, show you how we kind of set it up, show you how you can make some prices calculate really easily. So just a little bit of background to begin with. Why would we even need this? Why would anybody even need spring cleaning? Let's say, for example, you have regular residential clients that are having cleaning done on a regular basis. They might wonder, why would I even need spring cleaning? And so hopefully the kit and the things that we have in these tools will help you sell a little bit better exactly why you would need spring cleaning. You know, back in the early 1900s when everybody's home was fueled by coal, and there was a lot more heavy elements. How homes actually got a lot dirtier. In fact, I was trying to do some research and found out that that's kind of where the idea of having a spring cleaning once a year to get into those nooks and crannies and those lesser used, harder to reach places, where it kind of started. You know, people throw open the windows and, get to some of that down and dirty stuff. But we don't have that sort of thing anymore, right? Most people's homes are pretty efficiently heated, unless you do some really fantastic cooking, or, you are a smoker or something like that. Most people don't have a need to like wash walls and things like that. Some of the other things that you may need are, say, for example, inside of the refrigerator, the oven, some of the tiny appliances, back behind furniture, some of the outdoor areas, windows, nooks and crannies that if you had those cleaned on a regular basis would be really expensive. And so with spring cleaning, it's really an opportunity once a year, even for your existing customers, to really add some real value, for them to know that I am doing everything I need to do to protect my home so that this investment is in tip-top shape. And that I'm not going to, go and move a piece of furniture and find out later that, oh, I've had a bug problem way back in that corner that I never even knew because that piece of furniture had never been moved. So there's lots of added value, and we get into that definitely in detail into the kit of why and how you would sell this. But let's get into the details of how to do the pricing. So I created this calculator, and calculator allows for, well, basically, not only how to price, but part of the problem with pricing spring cleanings is they're really expensive. Customers may know what they want, they may know what the value is, but when you come back with a price that's $500, they may say, "Oh shoot, at $300 I'm willing to do it, but I'm not willing to do it at $500, and I want to be sure that my dollars are going towards the parts I want." So I created this calculator that will allow you to go through and kind of go piece by piece and customize. And this is what customers want. This is what customers tell us that they want these days. They want to be able to say, I have this much money to spend, and here is exactly how I want you to spend it. And a lot of times, like, let's say you tell a customer you're going to be doing something hourly, doing the spring cleaning hourly. Well, they have no control over that, right? They don't know how long it's going to take you to do each item. So they might say, you know what, instead of cleaning that toilet, will you clean the inside of the refrigerator? Not realizing that the inside of the refrigerator is 5 times longer than cleaning a toilet. So these tools are going to help you in both ways. One, for you to create a custom price for your clients, or two, we actually connect it to a priority list and connect it to some units and things like that. So a customer can actually go through and identify, hey, I bought so many units, and this is how I'd like to have it spent. So let's start off with the actual pricing. So to begin with, what you're going to do is you're going to go through and you're going to identify for each of the areas. Right here, we're talking about the kitchen. Okay, and we're talking about the refrigerator in this section. We can see that, we want the entire refrigerator done. So we're putting ones inside of each one of these areas. Let's say, for example, the customer said, I want the refrigerator done, but I don't want the freezer done. I already just did that last week, and I don't want the freezer done. Well, we can see that when we change that from 1 to 0, let's do it again, from 1, okay, we can see right now at 1, the price of the refrigerator is $47.25. That if we change it to 0, that price goes down to $44.33. Okay, so there's some calculations going on behind the scenes, and I will show you how you can customize it, how you can control the amounts of time that are being calculated for each thing. I mean, we have some benchmark times in there from, just various services of what they take, but that may not be what you take, so you can modify that. We have an hourly rate already logged in there, but that may not be what you charge. So you can customize these things completely so that you are able to really come up with a price that's accurate for you. But see how simple that is. Basically, just by going through and identifying, yep, I want to have these things done or I don't. some things make a difference when you're doing a spring cleaning. Like, for example, if the fridge is not built into the cabinets, then that means you have probably a top of the refrigerator to clean, sides of the refrigerator to clean. So whether it's built in or not, it's going to possibly alter the price of the cleaning. All right, so manually or self-cleaning oven. For example, when we get to the oven, that's going to make a difference in whether it's 6533 if it's a non-self-cleaning oven, or $42. Now, in the kit, we also have a training tool that basically goes through and identifies for the employee exactly the steps that they should do. And you can modify it, so if it's not the way you like to do things, you can go ahead, but it tells them exactly how long things should take based on these prices and what tools they should use and exactly how they should do it. So you have a starting point. If, let's say you get in there and you go, whoa, this is crazy, I don't clean the ovens that way at all, well, then you just modify that particular piece, but the whole rest of the tool is already set up for you. It's all formatted, all ready to go, so your employees actually have all kinds of great stuff to do. Whether or not what type of cooktop there is might affect the price, and again, you have some control over that based on what kind of things we set up. But that may affect the price because maybe it's one of those Gen Air things where you actually have to take apart all the different pieces, and that might make a difference. We go through all the different appliances in here, cleaning inside the microwave and deodorizing, exactly how you would do that and how it would be different than your normal cleaning. Dishwasher, same thing on the inside. All kinds of small appliances, we have instructions of exactly how to do it. Toaster, and here with the toaster, we make a difference of whether or not it's a toaster, a pop-up toaster, or whether it's a toaster oven. Okay, can opener, or electric can opener, I should say, in there. A standalone mixer, and we include one bowl and one whisk. Deodorizing the garbage disposal, a coffee maker, coffee grinder, a juicer, waffle iron. Some of these things are exterior only. For example, the juicer is just exterior only. You could always customize it if you wanted to do all the little parts. But you know how people have everything all out on the counters, and when they want a spring cleaning done, they want all that stuff done. And some things take a little longer than others. Waffle iron, maybe you want actually the plates of the waffle iron cleaned. That kind of stuff that's only happens, say, once a year. Again, there's instructions on how to do all of these pieces inside of the training program. All right, cupboards. Cupboards are another big factor. Let's say you're in an old house. I have an old house, 1926. So basically the cupboards are old painted cupboards and they look filthy in about 10 minutes. But so obviously the types of cabinets that you have, if you have painted cabinets or hard finished, that will make a difference in the price. Okay, so there's a difference in price calculated in here. And again, you do have control over how that works out. And we'll show you that in a moment. You can make notes anywhere you want to. Along here, you can use these sections over here to make notes, to type in, let's say, for example, be sure to thoroughly dry silverware. Okay, and you can have that as a note. Yeah, we'd want to make sure right at the moment there's probably some kind of wrap feature or something that it's not allowing us to do that. There we go. So you can make notes anywhere you want to. And again, this may not be something that you're going to give out to your employees, but it may be something that you're identifying yourself. Frankly, what I would do is I'd use it for internal pricing, and then I would print a copy out for our employees because it's going to tell them all the things that you're going to do and not going to do. I wouldn't give it to the customer because we don't really necessarily have them see all the ways that you're doing your pricing. Anyway, so you can see that it talks about inside cupboards and outside cupboards. Here, you can identify exactly how many cupboards there are, and what we're defining as a cupboard is a double cabinet. So basically, there's a left-hand side and a right-hand side, and it's all one cabinet with two doors. That's considered a cupboard. So if you were counting the number of cupboards, I suppose if you had only a half a side, you can count that as a half. Kind of depends, on what your guesstimate is, but we were saying there's 6 cupboards in there. Let's say the kitchen only had 3. Obviously, it changes the price, that kind of thing. Same thing with like a drawer stack. An entire drawer stack from bottom to top, especially on exterior, that's really counted as the same level of cleaning as, say, a double drawer. I mean, a double cupboard. But you can see if we change that, it 0, it changed the price. Let's see here. Inside, For example, one thing I found our clients like to do is when they do inside in a spring cleaning is to do inside of a silverware drawer, take all the silverware out, wash the tray or whatever it is that they have, that they're, the organizer that they keep the silverware in, dry the silverware, put it all back in. Again, we have instructions for that in the training program about how to do that. Rubbish, how you take care of your garbage cans, that's a really typical thing that you would do in a spring cleaning, and actually cleaning out the garbage cans and, all this kind of stuff. Here, and you can see some homes are like this. Our homes in the Northwest are like this. Garbage cans, recycles, and compost, and they all have different care instructions. Window cleaning, doing the inside, whatever you can reach, and then also whatever the window treatment is. So you can go through and you can just select, and you can see that in each one of the types of rooms, there's actually all kinds of, details as to, asking questions. Again, in the bathroom, we ask about, like, what type of bathroom, what bathtub is it? Is it just a plain bathtub, or is it a bath shower combo, or is it a shower alone by itself, or is it a bath and shower separate? These different pieces here. And then how many of them there are. And then I've got this question in here called deferred maintenance. Is that what that means is basically, has it been a long time since you've cleaned it? I mean, if it's a brand new client and it's not one of your regular clients, then yes, But if it hasn't been, we're going to say no. And that actually decreases the price a little bit. One other thing I want to show here on the prices, well, let's just go through the rooms. I'll show you a little bit more as we go along. Okay, so asked a lot of questions. We've got all the different bathrooms. We've got living room. Whoops, that's not living room, that's a bathroom, unless there's a toilet in your living room. Well, you can just see over here on the left-hand side is how you would collapse or condense the column so that you can just make it easy to use. In this particular case, we didn't use a living room, but if we wanted just everything to show up automatically, we would say yes, we're going to do that. And you see it auto-fills that there'll be one in each of the categories, and then you can always take these things out of here and decide we don't want the light fixture dusted or whatever it may be. Okay. We have a rec room or a great room. We have a dining room. We have a laundry room. And the laundry room will include things like cleaning inside, rinsing and deodorizing the washer and dryer, disinfecting the sink, and all those types of things. We have all the bedrooms. In the bedrooms, we have some linen options, I believe. Let's see, what have we put in here? Oh, laundering and washing all of the linens and actually vacuuming the mattress and removing the dust mites and these kinds of things. Again, we have some things set up in here for standard times, but you can alter them. Let's say you have a special process. You've paid for some of the specialty equipment to really do the dust mites correctly on the mattress, and it takes you a little bit longer than it does to just do a regular vacuum cleaner. Well, you can adjust that so that when you're doing your pricing, it works out just fine. You can identify the type of flooring, and then that may adjust the price depending on how much work it's kind of calculated to be. All right, going through different bedrooms. We have a few outdoor features, and what we tried to do is just put in the standard stuff. You can always add things into the extras columns. And, if you see something that isn't on this list, we just tried to include the things that are normally included in various kinds of spring cleanings. And just to let you know, most people could not afford to have a total spring cleaning on absolutely everything in their home. That might be a $500 clean for a large home. And so that puts most people out of the market for that. So what normally happens is you may sell them a package for a certain number of rooms, or they identify the features that they want, and that's why we're going through and figuring these things out. Okay, so we can see that basically laundering the sheets, like there's nothing on here for, say, ironing the sheets. That's not everywhere across the country that everybody has it. There are some regions where that's like part of spring cleaning, and they'd say, what? You don't iron the sheets? So you can always add that in here into the extras if you wanted to. We have a few other things in here. We have some outdoor things, cleaning patio furniture, sweeping the patio area. What we try to do when there's things like that is, if we're going to identify, let's say we're going to do the outdoor in this area, okay, we'll say that there is, it automatically filled all these things, and then you can go through and adjust them. Again, instructions on how to clean the grill, instructions on how to clean the patio furniture, all those things are in the training program, and they're available for you to be able to adjust if there's something about it that doesn't work for you. So what we try to do here is identify what size we're talking about. So let's say the patio is actually 30 feet by 30 feet, or let's say it's 30 feet by 10 feet. Well, this sweep and patio deck area I'm estimating is about 10 feet by 10 feet size. So you can just use the time that they have in there and say, well, it's actually basically the size of 3. It's not 3 rooms, but it's 3 times a 10 by 10 foot area, okay? And then that could adjust your price. We also have a few other in the other columns down here, vacuuming, skylight screens or other kind of window screens, doing interior stairs, like a detail in that, French doors, these various things, and you can identify which pieces that you want. Okay, so down here we're at the total. Okay, we can see that for whatever it is that we have selected, and I haven't kept track of what it is we selected, but at the moment we're at about $470.75. I'm applying a 25% discount. And then that's the discount that's calculated there, and that brings the price down to $353.06. So you may wonder, if I'm going to do all this work, why the heck would we offer a discount like that? Because it's, of my opinion, and what I've seen work really well in businesses, is that customers are very expensive to come by, at least the good ones, at least the ones that are not going to be jumping from one place to the next. And what we want to be able to do is kind of audition for them. If we get an opportunity to really show our stuff, to really show our flagship service, the absolute best thing that we can do, we don't want to price ourselves out of the market. You do not want to make this a $500 cleaning, and then that's the last time you ever see this customer. Because whatever it costs you to get that customer, which might be a couple $100s now, the way that marketing has gotten so expensive, you want to get more out of that person than a $500 clean. And vice versa. That person, a good quality customer, doesn't want to go searching around for the cheapest company in town all the time and keep bopping around over and over again. That's a hassle. People do not want hassles. So what they want to find is a good, fair, honest, trustworthy company that they can really rely on. So what a better way to do it than attract people in with the really expert spring cleaning that other people aren't normally doing and give them a really great discount so that they say, I can afford that, and then you can really wow them. Will you make a lot of profit on this cleaning? Probably not. You may not make any, depending on how much of a discount you do. But what difference does it make? If you get a customer that's, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a year, get a weekly customer. It's not unusual for them to be $5,000 a year. It's very important to them to have a company that they trust. They're not going to go bopping around from company to company. They might stay with you 10 years. That's $50,000. So you need to think of it like that, is with the spring cleaning, I think that's the best value. To me, spring cleaning is not about, we made an extra $100 profit one day, because who cares? It takes a lot of effort to train your employees to do this type of work. It's certainly not worth an extra $100 here and $100 there. What you want is to get the customer for life. You want to impress them. You want to really identify their needs. You really want to show them that we know how to service your needs, and then you make the money in the long run. Then, once they already know who you are and they trust you, then they're going to trust that if one day you didn't get one little item, well, then you'll get it the next time because they have a history with you. They know you guys are experts. They know you're good for whatever it is you said. You also notice there's some other numbers along here. Okay, I'm going to scooch up to the top to show you what these are all about. So sometimes when you're selling spring cleaning, it's not always all about the spring cleaning, right? People might be buying the spring cleaning this day, or they might say, hey, I've never used your service before. And you might think, I want that customer for regular. So it also calculates, right now it's showing these sections here, it's calculating on the biweekly, a weekly price, a monthly price, and this is just for the kitchen, but and then an upgrade price. So I'm going to scooch down here to the bottom again. Whoops. I scooched too fast. Okay. So this is your spring cleaning price for a fresh customer that you've never been used before, and here it is with the discount. Okay, if this customer were to get these same items done on a regular biweekly basis, their house would be $79.33. Now you may have some minimums to apply to that, and that may be smaller than you normally would go out for. But you can see that if they were doing all this stuff on a regular basis, that's what the price would be. Weekly would be $71.39, monthly would be $99. And then if you had a regular customer, let's say right now they're already biweekly customer, and they want to add on this spring cleaning, you're just going to add this on to the regular cleaning, and let's say the regular cleaning is $100. Then you would add on $264 onto their regular cleaning, and for their spring cleaning, and you still might give them some kind of discount. So maybe it's $198 for an upgrade to a regular spring clean or to spring cleaning from a regular customer. So we have these options. You do have some control in here about how you're going to do that. You don't have to use all the features, but these are just features that I find really helpful. When I have an opportunity to really wow a customer, I don't want to sell them just one thing. I want to sell them all kinds of stuff because I know what it's like to be a customer, right? When you're a customer, it is such a hassle to constantly be finding people and to be, having to monitor everything that gets done. You just want to set it and forget it. And so if you can wow them, you can give them what feels like an honest deal, and then you can continue to deliver great service, you'll get a lot more money out of that customer because it's a win-win. It's a win for everyone. Okay, so this is how the pricing part works. You actually have options in here in the set your standards up section. Okay, this all runs off Microsoft Excel. Of course, you'll have to have Microsoft Excel to run this, but you can open this spreadsheet up and work on that within your own Microsoft Excel. There's some areas that you're not going to want to mess with. I've hidden a lot of columns and stuff so you don't accidentally break any of the formulas because they may not all be protected. But here we are in the Set Your Standards section. Here in cell D1, you can identify your hourly rate. For this particular client, I identified $35 an hour. Now again, you're going to want to test all these things out, right? You're going to want to make sure that the times in here match what you're doing for your service. You're going to want to make sure the hourly rate here is for what you're doing for your service, because your region, the hourly rate's $25 an hour. Maybe your region, your hourly rate's $42 an hour. It really just depends. There's a lot of different taxes and situations in each area, so you can identify what's good for you. Also, we have set in here. It will calculate what a biweekly cleaning is. Basically, what it does is a lot of this stuff, for example, you're always going to clean the exterior of a refrigerator, even if it's not a spring cleaning, right? And you're always going to clean inside of a microwave for most standard services. You're going to clean, the outside of a cooktop. So it basically goes through and it takes off the items that you would normally clean, and those kind of strips those off and identifies what the regular biweekly cleaning would be. And so what we're setting here is we're saying 90% of the biweekly clean price will be the weekly clean price for this company. Some people do it like that, and if they do, this is what you do. Let's say in your case it's 95%, or maybe it's 100%. Then if it was 100%, we can see that the biweekly price and the weekly price are now the same. So this is the kind of control you have over this. Okay, probably once you set these things, you're not going to change it, except for maybe once a year. Next year, you're going to do spring cleaning again, and you might adjust some of these things. You also have options in here where you can go down, and I can tell you what my standard minutes that we were putting in there are. Again, this is no complete scientific formula. Things may vary. Your procedure may vary, so verify these things and make sure that it works for you, but this is pretty much what commonly these would be. Now, if you do change these things, make sure you change the staff training as well, because one of the best ways to get your staff to actually get done on their productivity timelines is when they are actually told how much time it's supposed to take. Let's say you've got an employee who's always running behind. They're always slow, and they're frustrated with that. The second you tell them, this microwave is supposed to take you 12 minutes. To do all the different pieces, and this is how it breaks out for each one of these sections. You're halfway there. You haven't even showed them anything yet, but the fact that you told them what the goal is makes it so much more likely that they're going to meet the goal. So if you do change these standard times, make sure you change them in the staff training program too, so that they know what kind of goals they're trying to reach. Okay, so we can see kind of an estimate of time about how long these things sort of take. We talked about discounts, we talked about pricing, we talked about recurring pricing. I think that's pretty much it for the actual pricing part. Some other things that you'll find in your kit are going to be some things that will be in either Photoshop files or Word files or other files. This is a feature list. Okay, this is actually a list that you can use in your marketing, and we have a JPEG that you'd be able to use that in your marketing as well. But customers want to know that. What are you going to do? What's the difference? I mean, why should I have a spring cleaning done? What's the difference between that and some guy I found on Craigslist that's going to cost me $50? Okay, if you give them a detailed price list, you're halfway there. Okay, here's another really important tool that we made here. This is the client's priority list, and A lot of companies will see that their customers want real control over the pricing. They say, I want to pay it for hourly because I want to be sure I have control of the pricing. But like we mentioned at the beginning, they don't know how long it takes to do each item. They don't have any idea, kind of comparison-wise, how much it would take. So we set this up so that you could sell a certain number of units. In this case, I believe the units are 5 minutes each. You don't have to tell the customer that. But basically what happens is you just sell a certain number of units, and you might sell a package deal. Let's say somebody's going to buy 250 units for the price of 200. Okay, so you gave them a discount. It sounded like an attractive offer. Here's what they can do is they can go through and they can identify not only which ones they want, but they can identify what are their priorities, and they can kind of see that, oh my gosh, look at this. Cleaning the stovetop is quite a few. That takes 9 units. Whereas over here, to deep clean and disinfect the toilet only takes 1 unit. Okay, again, this is in Excel, so you can always change this if you don't agree with these or you have a special method and procedure that makes these things take longer. Let's say, for example, you use something like a steamer or some kind of specialty equipment. It might actually produce a different, it take a different amount of time and might produce a different result. So you'd want to adjust these things. But what this does for your customer is allows them to have ultimate control over exactly what they're getting. And it really puts a great professional packaging on the service that you're providing. We also have, and this is just a small little version of it, but we include a full-size version of the spring cleaning get started packet. So let's say you sell the spring cleaning package over the phone, and that's what I encourage you to do. I wouldn't put any of these prices online if I were you, because obviously this is going to take some selling. If all you're doing is comparing prices, who would go for the $400 clean over the $100 clean? Nobody, if they don't understand what the difference is, right? So you really have an opportunity to, to really identify what their needs are. You can't customize it to someone if they don't even know what they're buying, okay? They don't have any idea. So you really want people to contact you, and you want to be able to work with them. It's not about selling them something they don't want. It's about really identifying what exactly they do want and then giving them really quickly and concisely some idea of exactly how much that might cost, so they can go, well, now that I know how much that costs, then I'll skip this, but I'll take these 5 things. Okay, so the other thing that happens is once you get that started, there are some things that they need to do before you come out so that things can be easy. Things like preparing the oven, okay? If it's a self-cleaning oven, you certainly don't want the oven roasting up to whatever, 500 degrees or whatever it goes up to when you're doing that. You're going to have them preset oven. In fact, most of the time for spring cleanings, you don't want to do the oven cleaning at all unless they have prepped it, okay? So there's, in the instructions, there's a chemical way of prepping it by buying an over-the-counter product that you can purchase and make it nice and easy, or there's a way for them to set a self-cleaning oven. Of course, you can always come up with green ways as well. They don't work quite as well, and speaking from a person who used to run one of the first green cleaning companies in the country, they don't work quite as well, and it is something you do just once a year. So anyway, these are some ideas, and if you could use this layout, and let's say your oven prep is different, you just adjust it, right? You just make it to how you want. Same thing with the refrigerator. What we want people to know is that we'll clean out the refrigerator, but we want them to make the identification of what to throw out and all that kind of stuff ahead of time. Because if they don't know if your cleaners go out there, first of all, they're going to take a lot of time maybe doing something the way they don't want to. They might throw out some stuff the customers don't want you to throw out. It's much better for them to just go through and do all the sorting ahead of time, and then you're going to, move the items to the side. If they want to put coolers out so that you can keep the stuff cool, that's great. But we identify in our instructions kind of how much maximum time that stuff should be outside of the refrigerator based on some of the food safety rules, that kind of thing. So anyway, you could also add in here anything else you want to about, prepping. We always are having a little balance. If you tell the customer to do too many things ahead of time, that's going to feel a lot like work. So we want to keep that to a minimum, but on the other hand, we want to help them keep their costs low if there are a few things they can do that can keep the prices inexpensive. And then also we include some pricing ads, that kind of stuff. This one here is just a sample of a JPEG, and what we've done here is we've identified some packages. We'll also include a Photoshop file so that you can have this changed to whatever colors. You can have this changed to your logo, your pricing, or whatever it is. But here are some sample packages. What we did is we went ahead and identified a spring cleaning bundle, which is very typical. It's the kitchen plus 4 rooms. And of course, you're going to have a narrowed down list, see office for details. You you'll have a narrowed down list of exactly what's included in that, but it's usually, 3 or 4 small appliances, all the major stuff in the kitchen, plus 4 other rooms that you've identified, like a living room, a bedroom, a laundry room, and a bathroom, or something like that. Okay, you're identifying here that there's going to be 48 deeper cleaning tasks. All I did was go through after I identified the rooms in that package and count up the tasks. That there'd be 78 additional tasks. So what I'm identifying here, and we'll talk about that in the package, is that customers, again, want to know what's the difference between the spring cleaning and a regular cleaning. Well, the difference is you're going to get to hard to reach places. You're going to do a deeper clean on some things that are regularly done, but maybe you're going to, maybe it's a toothbrush clean instead of a regular, scrubber clean. And then there's also 78 additional tasks, things that are never touched. On my list of all the spring cleaning stuff, there are 78 items on there that are usually never touched in a regular cleaning. And so we have some additional things, and we also have some things that we just do to a deeper level. Okay, and in this case, we're going to give them an estimated value of $420. That's by adding everything up in that pricing package, and then we're giving them a discount, so it's $299. So from the customer's perspective, they look at this and they go, oh, spring cleaning package for $299. And this is all the things that it includes. I better give a call. Okay, now you're protected a little bit here because you say not to exceed 12 check hours. And you're going to identify what are the items in there. And it's true, the customer may say, oh, I really want the whole house done, or I want an additional room done. Well, you can add those things on. That's fine. I would just make sure that they're going to get their additional discount. But what you've done here is you've made it so easy for them to go, either I can afford $299 or I can't. I either think this number is attractive or I don't. And $299 sounds attractive, and it looks like you packaged together quite a bit of stuff, so I would feel like I got a great spring cleaning. It may not be exactly perfect to my house yet, and I might have to adjust that, but it's a pretty good deal. So that's one thing. Here's the same clean, but it's an upgrade. This is for your regular customers. Let's say you put this entire ad in your newsletter, okay, your email newsletter. $175 upgrade on your regular clients. So let's say their cleaning is $100, they pay an extra $175, they get all these things in this deal. And you're telling them this is a 25% savings. Great. Again, customer can see either I can afford $175, I either think it's attractive or I don't. Maybe I want a lot more control. Here's another option here, and this is where we're selling like the hours packs or the units packed, however you want to do it. In this case, it's in hours. So we're identifying that you can get, if you buy 6 to 8 hours, we're going to give you $35 off. If you buy 9 to 12 hours, we're going to give you $65 off. 13 hours or more, we're going to give you $115 off. And we're saying the savings are up to 25%, because of course it depends on how many hours they're buying. And on all of these, see Office for details. Okay, hopefully what you see here is that we have packaged everything for you, and you can adjust this and make this however you like. But customers love that. They like you making it simple for them. They don't want, you ever gone to a restaurant where you go in there and there are so many choices? You're like, okay, I've got to decide on first my entree, and then I've got to decide on the appetizer, and then there's like 4 different sauces, and I have to decide this and that. I mean, those places are work. I have to have some energy up to go there. You want to make it nice and easy. You can customize as needed, but make it easy for them. Okay, so hopefully this all looks great, and if you're ready to get started on your spring cleaning kit, I hope you go out there and add some nice little profit margins to your spring cleaning, not only in spring, but also year round. You can always do, spring cleaning in fall, ding, 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 all kinds of ideas. All right, talk to you next time.